Welcome to Networks Professionals.
Welcome to the Explainer. Look, today we're mapping out what is honestly a hero's journey for your IT career. If you've ever wanted to unlock a highly lucrative, really in-demand career in cybersecurity, specifically by mastering the exact enterprise firewalls that protect the world's biggest networks, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down a credential that literally acts as a master key to the whole cybersecurity industry. Want to unlock a salary of up to $160,000? Right, let's get into it. Here's exactly how we're breaking down the PCNSE roadmap today. First up, decoding the certification itself. Second, why tech enthusiasts absolutely love it. Third, a look inside the actual exam. Fourth, your 5-step prep roadmap. And finally, the ultimate career ROI.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, Decoding the PCNSE.
So to really grasp the power of this credential, we've got to define what it actually is. PCNSE. It stands for Palo Alto Networks Certified Network Security Engineer. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, I know. But the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that phrase, next-generation firewalls. We're talking about systems that go way beyond just simple port blocking. They perform deep, highly intelligent traffic inspection. This certification, it's basically your official stamp of approval. It proves you can design, configure, and troubleshoot these massive advanced defenses, showing employers you've got exactly what it takes to protect them from really complex, modern cyber attacks.
And just think about who relies on this tech. We're talking about the biggest players on the planet. Fortune 500 companies, global banks, telecom giants, government organizations, and major cloud providers. These massive entities lean heavily on Palo Alto firewalls to lock down their critical infrastructure. I mean, they literally cannot afford downtime, and they definitely cannot afford a breach. So it makes total sense that they actively hunt for PCNSE certified pros who know how to securely manage these incredibly complex environments.
Moving right along, Section 2, Why Tech Enthusiasts Love It.
Now, you might be wondering, why is this specific credential treated like an absolute golden ticket for breaking into cybersecurity? Well, there's a really fascinating twist here. You might assume Palo Alto is just its own isolated ecosystem, right? But think about those massive Microsoft environments out there: Azure, Active Directory, M365. Those Microsoft-heavy enterprises desperately need PCNSE professionals to bridge the gap. They need you to secure their hybrid networks, set up those VPNs, and protect cloud workloads. It's essentially this massive, kind of hidden job market sitting right there inside the Microsoft ecosystem. All right, Section 3, Inside the PCNSE exam.
In any hero's journey, you've got to face the trial, right? And yours is the exam itself. So let's demystify exactly what you'll be up against. Here's the rundown. You're going to face roughly 60 to 75 multiple-choice questions, and you'll have about 80 to 90 minutes to knock them out. As for the cost, it sits right between $175 and $250 US, just depending on your region and local taxes. While there have historically been some online options, you'll probably be taking this at a Pearson VUE Test Center, so definitely double-check their site. Once you pass, you're officially certified for 2 solid years. Now, Palo Alto doesn't publicly publish the exact passing score. Sneaky, I know, but folks who've cleared it generally estimate you'll need around a 70% to pass.
And this brilliantly illustrates where the PCNSE actually sits in terms of difficulty. It occupies this really strategic sweet spot. It's for sure a definitive step up from those beginner credentials, like CompTIA Security Plus or basic firewall certs. It demands much deeper technical know-how. But on the flip side, it isn't quite as punishing or management-heavy as something like the CSSP or the expert-level GAC certs. It's a challenging trial, absolutely, but it is incredibly achievable if you put in the focused work. To actually clear this trial, you've got to master a few core areas. Notice the really heavy emphasis here on firewall fundamentals, networking, and threat prevention. But hey, do not let that smaller 10% slice for troubleshooting fool you. Practical, hands-on troubleshooting knowledge, like understanding packet flows, reading logs, and getting comfortable in the command line interface, that stuff is heavily tested throughout the entire exam. You really have to know how things work, and honestly, more importantly, how to fix them when they inevitably break.
Which brings us to Section 4, your 5-step prep roadmap. Consider this your mentor's map to the buried treasure. Even if you're starting as a total beginner, 2 to 4 months of focused study can absolutely get you there. Here's the play. Step 1. Solidify those networking basics, think IP addressing and VLAN network segmentation. Step 2. Layer on the firewall basics, like network address translation and building security policies.
Step 3, you want to dive deep into PAN-OS, which is Palo Alto's operating system, getting to know both the visual interface and the command line. Step 4 is where you're going to spend the bulk of your time, practice labs. And finally, Step 5, polish it all off with some official EDU training courses.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is Step 4, the hands-on practice. It is literally your secret weapon for success. You can't just read a textbook and expect to pass the PCNSE. No way. You've got to get your hands dirty in virtual environments like the Palo Alto VM Series Lab, EVNG, GNS3, or VMware Workstation. Building those virtual firewalls, configuring them, breaking them on purpose, and then fixing them again, that's the exact process that transforms you from just a test taker into a true network security engineer.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate career ROI. All right, we've reached the climax of our explainer. You've put in the months of study, you've conquered the labs, you've passed the exam. So what's the ultimate reward? Well, simply put, there is an absolutely unstoppable global demand for next-generation firewall expertise right now. Recruiters are explicitly hunting for Palo Alto firewall experience to fill some really high-level network security engineer and SOC analyst roles. And we aren't just talking about one specific region. This demand spans across the USA, Europe, the UK, the UAE, Australia, you name it. Massive multinational companies are actively seeking out validated talent.
To really put that into perspective, that soaring demand translates directly into some seriously staggering international salary potential. Just look at these numbers. In the USA, professionals with this specific skill set are looking at ranges from $90,000 all the way up to $160,000. Over in the UK, it's sitting between $50,000 and $90,000. And in the UAE, you're looking at roughly $48,000 to $108,000 annualized. I mean, that is a massive wow moment, right? When you pair this certification with some real-world experience, your earning potential absolutely skyrockets.
But beyond just the paycheck, you are fundamentally future-proofing your career. Even as newer, more role-based certifications pop up in the market, the PCNSE remains incredibly respected because it anchors you right to the most explosive modern security trends out there. We're talking zero-trust frameworks, AI-driven threat prevention, and SD-WAN and SASE architectures, which, by the way, are the new gold standards for securing remote and hybrid workforces. By mastering the PCNSE, you're aligning yourself perfectly with the cutting-edge tech that's going to shape the next entire decade of cybersecurity.
Which really just leaves us with one final vital question. Are you ready to secure your future? The PCNSE is so much more than just a multiple-choice test. It's the ultimate entry point to high-paying, highly respected enterprise roles. It beautifully blends real-world, hard skills with real international recognition. So review that 5-step roadmap, go download a practice lab today, and take that very first step toward becoming an officially certified Palo Alto Networks Certified Network Security Engineer. Thanks for joining us on this explainer.
Thanks for watching.